this story is going to date me in a very particular generation. But at one point in my life, I had a deep ketamine phase. You guys, many of you might not know what ketamine is. It's Mexican horse tranquilizer. Comes in a liquid. You cook it on a double boiler until it becomes a salt-based substance, scrape it up, and then you snort it. It is what is called a cognitive anesthetic. The best way to describe it is it produces extreme synesthesia. I don't know what to tell you other than, Madonna had just released Ray of Light, and it made a lot of sense. So, that's where I was at the time when this story takes place, and I lived in what sometimes gets called, a drug house. There was like 50 of us living in a 3-bedroom, It got so weird. Even just like the pecking order of who got to sleep where on the couch was like a thing. But so anyway, for us, like at that time in my life, doing drugs was it wasn't something I even enjoyed. It was work. It was a mountain to conquer. It's like dare me. How weird can I get? Like whatever you got. Like I don't give a flying. You get it. So one day we were pretty deep into it. Like months were flying by. I didn't have a job then. I just charged people to drive them places. It's scary to sit in the parking lot of condo complexes sometimes, when you hear about the men that live in those condo complexes. And sometimes you're like, you owe me $20. Happens. So we met this woman. Nobody really knew her very well, but she came over to a party, which was all of the days of the week. She came over and she said she had this drug called G. And none of us had heard of G. Every other letter of the alphabet, there's a drug. We didn't know of one for G. And we were really upset. Like, the idea that there could be a drug that we had not done was just a slap in the fucking face. We were professionals. This is what we did. This is who we were. So we had to do it. I mean, there was no exits on this highway. And she produces this large vial with a stopper in it and a little squirter, like a little vial. And I had made a rule for myself, because you need to make rules sometimes. I had made a rule, I would do any drug as long as it wasn't gaseous. That was my line. But liquids were fine. I don't know, it meant, whippets freak me out, okay? So, we're trying to ask her what it does, and she's like, oh, this G, we're asking her about it. And we went on the internet, we researched, we wanted to know the climax and the plateau and how long we would be high, and we did research, guys. This was a full-time job. And we were asking questions, and she was just like, well, you just put it in a drink, like you drink it, and we're like, well, what is it like? And she's like, oh, it's like you get drunk, but it's like you're the most wasted you've ever been. It's like the best, but you don't have to drink anything. It's amazing. And so I got Dr. Pepper, and of all things, and she's, put some into mine. So this is the story of how I did the date rape drug. G stood for GHB, the date rape drug. And, it's funny, she didn't actually advertise it incorrectly. I felt like I was really drunk. And then I passed out. And the only other guy that had done it was my best friend, Justin, who was like 6'5" and huge, and he got messed up, but I passed out. And guys, this stuff is dangerous. Really, no joke. I woke up, and my friends didn't understand what had happened, and they thought I had just passed out in the party, which is, like party faux pas. So they wrote penis on my forehead. And then I still didn't wake up. And then they started putting Post-it notes on me, and I still didn't wake up. And then they bound me in wire. And I woke up several hours later, in the middle of the night, with my roommate Brennan, watching Ally McBeal while he huffed Pledge.